Do you think Harry should carry on fighting for his father's forgiveness, or do you think King Charles should accept it is time now to bury the hatchet? Let's kick off with you, Daisy.
Well, it sort of comes back to our last chat, doesn't it, about your relationship with your parents, particularly if your parents are getting on a bit. And he is getting on, the King is getting on a bit.
And having treatment for cancer.
Which he's been undergoing for a year. So I mean, the first thing to say, which might be a statement of the bleeding obvious, is everybody would like to see them, I believe, reconcile. I think, we would all love that. But at what cost to them, I suppose? The King is a monarch. He's very busy. And I feel like it should be Harry that reaches out. If he is constantly reaching out and he's facing a brick wall, then I do have sympathy with that. But of course, the trust is broken.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, in Spare, one of the things that Harry did was write about private conversations and private moments, and what the King, then Prince Charles, said when he put him to bed, or when Harry's mother died, and these are private things. So I suppose, Afua, the King might feel he wouldn't even want to risk speaking to Harry in case it suddenly appears in a Netflix documentary or something.
And I can understand that would be a fear that he has. As Daisy so rightly said, the trust is broken. But I think especially after, what we've seen in the past 18 months or so, with the King undergoing cancer treatment, health is the greatest leveller, right? And I just think after everything that's happened, it would be so wonderful to see a reconciliation with King Charles and Prince Harry. Prince Harry, remember, was in London. He had his court case, Prince Harry versus the Home Office, about his security. And there was a crossover period where Prince Harry was in the UK before the King left to go to Italy on the state visit. But they didn't manage to see each other then. And I think there's a real shame. There's lots of missed opportunities here. Yes, the trust is broken, but I do think that if Prince Harry is reaching out to King Charles, then King Charles would do well to try and foster the reconciliation. There's fault on both sides, quite clearly, I think. But I think that it should be, if Prince Harry is reaching out, then King Charles should respond.
Could it be, though? I'm only positing a theory. I have no insider information about this, but could it, although I have had a few people kind of sort of tell me this, I don't know if it's true, though, could it be that, as we know, the King is having cancer treatment, and we know that only last week or the week before, he did have to go back into hospital because it was really having an effect on him, and we don't quite know what the effect was, but he had to go back into hospital that day. Could it be that he feels, or maybe Queen Camilla feels, that if he were to see Prince Harry, it would be so emotionally exhausting, it might turn into a big old bust-up, who knows, I don't know. Maybe he's being advised, don't see him right now.
I've heard those stories as well, and like you, I haven't been able to stand them up, but it makes sense, doesn't it? Now, just because it makes sense doesn't mean it's true, but people who are undergoing treatment for cancer, who have cancer, are told, do try to keep your stress levels as low as possible. Easier said than done when you're the King,
monarch,
and you're in your late 70s. But yes, I have been told that Camilla has said publicly, the King is a bad patient and doesn't do what he's told. And I think what she means is he does too much. He does too much work. We know he's a workaholic, so we know that she does try to stop him doing too much, and it stands to reason that one of the things she might stop him doing is meeting with a child who has certainly upset him. We know he's a very sentimental person. We know that about him, and that the public, public disagreement will have upset him deeply. So yes, that makes perfect sense to me.
Maybe he has to kind of protect himself from a possible meeting. Maybe. Let's ask Caroline in Devon. Hello, Caroline. What do you think? Should Harry pursue this, or should the King be the person who instigates it?
Harry. 100%.
Right, and what if what Harry's saying is true, though, when he's saying that he is trying, but he's not getting any feedback or any information about the King and how he's doing?
Well, the saying, you've made your bed, lie on it.
I mean, I know the saying, but it's a bit harsh, isn't it?
Not with his case. He has slaughtered his family, right? Now, put that aside for 1 minute. He's then publicly put it on a book and slaughtered him again, the whole family. So, he's wrong.
Well, he's wrong, but nevertheless, you know, he's the king's son. He's you know, and we know there's tremendous amount of love there because we know that the king, for example, called him my darling boy. I mean, absolutely adored him, didn't he? And very probably still does, for all we know. I think maybe that's a little harsh, Caroline, but maybe lots of people will agree with you. Let's talk to Marie in North Lanarkshire. Hello.
Hello.
What do you think?
How can one open dialogue to resolve a breakdown in a relationship if there's a legitimate betrayal? Harry has betrayed his family and is still doing so. He's not ready within himself to forgive or be forgiven. The king probably feels it's unsafe to speak to his son. Everything he says will be broadcast abroad according to Harry's mindset. And he's not in the right mindset.
But what do you think, though, in terms of...
between a rock and a hard place.
Well, what do you think about, you know, forgiveness and the fact that I would like to believe, anyway, that people are capable of change and, you know, maybe Harry is genuinely worried about his father's health. Let's assume he must be. You know, maybe he would be ready to move on and maybe give us some kind of guarantee saying, you know, anything we say is a secret. What do you think?
Well, on your first point, Jesus said to forgive your brother except it be for due cause. The king has due cause. Harry, I would like nothing better than to see them because we all loved Harry.
Absolutely.
We all love the king. But Harry's not in the right mindset.
He might be moving towards it. Let's hope he's moving towards it. Thank you so much